I am one of the participants of the so-called Russian sleep experiment. This is my story and that of the 4 other people who were subjected to the same experiment. In the 1940s, during the Cold War, one of the darkest and cruelest experiments in history took place. In Russia, a group of scientists believed they had created an experimental gas that could eradicate the need for sleep in humans, but they needed to test it first. The scientists chose 5 prisoners of war who had been convicted of treason against the Russian state, including me. We were taken to a sealed room where they explained the experiment to us, promising us that if we stayed 30 days without sleep we would be free. We had no choice, it was our only chance to be free. The cabin had small rooms full of books, bedsteads without bedding, running water, a toilet and enough smoked food to survive for a month. The room had transparent glass and microphones so that the scientists could see and analyze everything. For the first 5 days we were fine, we had normal conversations and nothing strange happened. However, from the 6th day on, our conversations became darker and the first complaints started, some showed signs of paranoia. From then on, we began to suspect each other, not to talk to each other because we were talking to our hallucinations, and to act very strangely. From the 10th day on, one fellow began to scream uncontrollably for 3 hours. After the 3 hours, there was absolute silence. When we went to see what was going on, the guy still had his mouth open but was not making any sound, he had ripped out his vocal cords himself and became mute. Then madness took hold of everyone. We started tearing the pages out of the books and smearing them with our own feces to place them on the glass so they couldn't see us. The scientists could no longer see us, but they could hear us. 3 days later, the scientists stopped hearing sounds. Everything was absolutely silent. On the 15th day of the experiment, the scientists turned off the gas and decided to enter the cabin to see what was going on. When they entered, they found a horrible scene. The floor of the room was covered with inches of blood, one of us had died after falling asleep, and the rest of us had large amounts of muscle and skin ripped from our bodies. We had mutilated ourselves, with our own hands. In addition, we had ripped out our lower body organs and had begun to eat our own muscle tissue. One of us attacked one of the scientists yelling to reimplant the gas, but he was shot in the head. There were 3 of us left. We all refused to get out of the cabin, asking them to reimplant the gas again, but they forced us out to treat our wounds. They asked us why we had mutilated ourselves, and we told them it was because we had to stay awake in order not to sleep and therefore die, so we also asked for the gas again. Then they put us back in the cabin again and reimplanted the gas. The scientists saw that our brains seemed to die and revive every so often. One of us laid his head on the floor and closed his eyes. He died instantly. Only I and the mute were left. The experiment had failed, it was obvious that the gas did not work, so the scientists decided to finish us off. They shot the mute and finally I was left. One of the scientists asked me before shooting me, "What are you?" I gave him a creepy smile and replied, "We are you. We are the madness that circulates your bodies, begging to be released from your deepest, most animalistic mind." The investigator was petrified, and seconds later he shot me in the heart. I, in agony, said one last sentence, almost free.